Hey guys, so I'm going to balayage my hair, bring the blonde back up. Here's what it looks like. Underneath I obviously have quite a bit of regrowth. You can see here a lot I'm going to have to do. I'm going to be using the tease and the foil method. I know a lot of people don't like it. I personally hate it because my hair gets tangly, but it seems like the best way for the hair to blend. You like how I did that? Blend. Anyway, I'm going to start off with what I got from Sally's, and then I'm going to show you my technique. Here you can see where I have a little bit of what was toned on, or the painted on as my root smudge before. This up to here is all natural color, so I'm going to try to lift from about here to here. Not retouching the blonde, only in some pieces at the very end, just to make like add some dimension. That's gross. But I know that it can't be saturated too much because it's going to sit on there and possibly break off my hair. I mean, that's not what we're trying to do here. Ignore my nasty nails. Today was my first day actually learning to change my car oil on my own, so obviously I didn't repaint my nails. I left it because I knew I was going to be doing that today, and I was going to be doing my hair, just a side note. And here we go. So the first thing I got, now I've watched a million Elle Bangs videos, Brad Mando. I feel like I am very confident. I have bleached my hair several times in the past. This last one with the root color, that was done at a hair salon, but to be honest with you, I wasn't really too fond of the quality of work that I got when I went to the last stylist. So I'm gonna just go back to doing it myself again, but this time I feel like I'm more prepared and I have better product, kind of. Okay, and yeah, we'll see why I said kind of in a second. I'll explain. So the first thing I got, I needed a new tub of bleach. I got the BW2 by Clairol. Yes, Brad Mando, I understand that this one is very, very dangerous. I'm gonna be careful I'm not overlapping, and I pay attention to the foils to make sure that I don't leave it on processing too long and it breaks off. Also, fully saturate your hair with bleach. Bleach does not lather. I've got this. Paid attention. I'm going to use a 30 volume just because my hair does have a tendency of turning really red and bright orange on my roots for some reason. Even on my natural hair it does that, and every hairstylist I've had is shocked and they're like, are you sure you don't have anything on it? And normally I wouldn't have, but it just does that. I know it does. So I got a 30 volume, and then I have a 20 volume. And the 20 volume is just going to be whenever I go back through at the very end, I'm going to let it sit on for maybe like 10 minutes on the stuff that's already blonde, just to give it more of a boost of lightening. I got foils, also from Sally, pack of those, because in the past, yes, I've done it with aluminum foil, same thing. I've cut it off, and it's really uncomfortable because I have to make sure it's very precise and easy to fold. I normally have a mixing bowl, but I can't find it, so we're using a plastic bowl. A comb. This is going to be for my foils, and also kind of, I'm going to do like a weave in and out a little bit. Brushes to paint. I've got some gloves, some clips, some more clips, a mirror, and a teasing comb. Now, oh, and then I have a regular comb and just like a wet to brush that I used. I've already brushed my hair out. Then I've got, for the roots, I'm going to use, this is the generic brand from Sally's because they don't offer Redken Shades EQ. And they recently, I've noticed this, I don't know how long it's been out, but I've barely noticed it today. And I've been there several times since, you know, I was coloring my hair in the last year. I've never seen it, so I don't know how new this is. But it's compared to Redken Shades EQ Gloss. This one's medium neutral brown 6N. And that one's going to be for my roots, to do a shadow root. And then for the rest of it, I got light blonde, or light neutral blonde 9N. It's like the Redken Shades EQ, this one. And then for each one, it called for one part gloss solution. So I got two of these, because obviously there's two of these for one part. This is the liquid processing solution compared to the Redken Shades EQ Gloss processing solution that they recommend to use with that. And that's what Redken recommends, is to use their gloss solution with their Shades EQ gloss. Rather than, I know some people, I've watched several videos and some people use the 10 volume developer, but I figure since this is my first time using this instead of Wella toners, I'm going to try what it recommends. So I'm going to start from the back first because the top of your head gets the hottest. I'm going to first start by mixing my bleach and then I'll put on my gloves. I might just do one glove because I've tried it before with gloves and there's been times where I don't use gloves. But when I've done that, it becomes very, like, it's hard for me to take the hair off of my hand. Okay, so we're going to do 2 scoops here, make it kind of even. Oops. And also, side note, I've never used this style of bleach. I normally get the Wella one. But from my research, I've noticed that this bleach actually is a stronger, I believe it's a stronger bleach. Okay, so here we go. It is pure white. Okay, so I can't see where it says that, but in the past I'm just going to do what I've done, where I do 2 scoops of bleach and then I'm going to put enough to make the, enough developer in the bleach to make it like a thicker consistency. So I usually just eyeball it. I want to say maybe it's 2 parts, I don't really remember, to be honest with you. And there's so many freaking words on here that I just don't see it from the top of my head. Let's see. Yeah, it just says mix until, stir it into a rich creamy consistency. It doesn't really say, it just says pure white 10, 20, 30 volume, 5 fluid ounces. And that's it. It doesn't really, unless I'm missing it, it's not really saying what part to do. So we're going to go with that. Oh, it does. It says dedusted extra strength. Maybe that's why Brad Mando doesn't really recommend it. So here's what I've got so far, and I'm just going to mix it in. And then normally, if it doesn't look like it's a great consistency, what I've done in the past is I'll just add a little more powder and kind of keep going because I already know I run out of bleach fast. And I don't use, I don't put a lot in the bowl at first just because I don't want to waste product. But, you know, I'm going to stir it all in, and then if I need more, then I'll add and keep doing the bleach at the same time. The reason why I'm starting at the back of my head and underneath is because in the past, I've learned that the top of your head processes faster from the heat on your head, same with your roots. But I just have so much regrowth on the back, I want to make sure that that's not brassy. And I guess I shouldn't even say brassy because I know that Brad Mando hates that fucking word. But you know what I mean. Okay, so I added a little bit more powder. Once I get this stirred up, we will start. Okay, let's see. And again, with this being my first time using this bleach combination, and actually it's my first time using all these products because they didn't have that before. I think I've used some Ion ones and some Clairol. What I'm trying to go for is, you know, still a little bit of root, probably like an inch or 2 of regrowth. I want to just tone, and then, okay, I think I've got it to a really good consistency. It's not too runny, but it's also not too thick. Now we're going to start by sectioning the hair. I'm going to start completely by doing a half up and half down. I do want to have my hair where it's brighter because I do have extensions, and I'll actually show you those. And it's more of like an icier blonde than a ash blonde. Okay, so I'm just going to go like this because there's been times too where I split my hair part by part. And I'll do like the bottom half and then split it. We're in my bathroom, obviously. I have Bellamy and I have the ombre 22-inch. So they match pretty well to the color of my hair now. Oh, I just dropped some. But, you know, I notice once it's in, my hair's a little off. And right now my hair does look a little more ashy because this last week I wasn't able to do my hair and I toned it with the Olaplex. Or not toned it, I'm sorry. I did purple shampoo with the Olaplex, so it's a little more ashy than it was, or than I actually like it, but you can see like all the regrowth underneath. So we section, because that's how you're supposed to do it, according to Brad Mando and everyone else I've watched so many of these videos where people think that they lather, and I'm like, okay, I'm not a hairstylist by any means. I probably don't even seem like I know what the hell I'm doing, but in my defense, I've done it so many times and done so much research on products and how to mix things and whatever, that I feel a little more confident that I may not fuck this up. And also because it's not as scary as the very first time I put bleach on. That was an issue. I can get these damn gloves on now. Anyway. Fuck, did I even get the right size? Probably not. Whatever. It's good enough. If not, yeah, I might just not do it. You know what? Fuck the gloves. I'm already saying fuck the gloves because this is why I don't use them. It's hard for me to like get into the hair. Okay. Here's my foils. And we shall begin. So I'm going to just part it a really thin layer. Clip. I'm just gonna clip that to the front so it stays. And on the back you'll see how thin of the layer I did. And then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna tease it. So here we go. It's like super thin. You can see, you know, the point is to make sure it's thin, to saturate it. So now I'm gonna take my teasing comb after it's all brushed out and just tease up. And I'm gonna tease up enough. Make sure you tease straight too. Okay. Now take my foil and my comb. I know there's probably an easier way to do this, but I'm doing it my way. And I'm gonna start it from the root and hold it there. Pull that out and then take a little bit. And the reason why I'm taking a little bit is because I need to make sure I don't get it. Okay, I need to get it to where it stays. Here's the hard part. Okay. This is like super more difficult than I actually envisioned. I'm trying to think of like an easier way to, oh, there we go, okay. So I'm taking it from, I'm not gonna get it on the already bleached parts. So you see how there's like a little bit here? I'm just gonna kind of smudge it on that part. And work from here into a straight line. Take a little bit more. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I can see where the tease is, but I'm not trying to overlap too much. But definitely saturate that. And then we're gonna leave this piece out and put the foil up on the hair. Like this. Take your comb. And I know this is probably really hard to see in the video, but I'm doing this really folded. And I am pressing it against my neck to get it a little better, but we'll see. Okay, so now it should look like that, and there's the hair hanging out. Now, next section, and I feel like once I get higher to the top, it's a lot easier usually. This isn't my first time doing this, but it is very tedious. Okay, same thing. This one's got a little less, so I'm going to, that's a thinner part, just tease it. Take a foil. and just put enough on there to get it to stick to the foil. Then I pull it off, pull the foil out, and I'm gonna hold it up. Oops, that was a complete fail. I know some people I've seen too use like these boards. I'm like, that sounds like it'd probably be. So I'm not pressing it exactly to the foil. Again, here's where it's a little lighter. I'm gonna put spotlight on, and then we're gonna hold it. I'm just gonna hold this piece and see. I feel like right now this part of the video would be where Brad Mando's hella judging me. He'd be like, you know, fuck the foil. I've seen it in some of his videos that he reviews, where they're like, the girls in the video will say like, I'm gonna start this, and just kind of like how I just did, where I'm like, I'm gonna do it this way, and then blah blah blah, and then they don't. So, or something doesn't work out. So I'm just gonna paint it, and I'm getting underneath. I'm gonna check the back to see how saturated I have it. Okay. Pretty much on there, on the regrowth, and then we'll try this foil again. Again, hold it to my hand. And it's a lot easier once I get higher up and I can see better. So I just pay attention to those, and then they usually take a little longer to relight in, but it's on there. Next. Again, yes, I'm wiping my hands to make sure I wore this on purpose. We're gonna start with the back. And I have quite a bit of hair on this one, so just slice it. And again, it's like pretty thin sections that I'm taking. It's not too thick, probably too thick for some people's liking, but I mean, I'm just doing the roots. Okay, let me take a look at this. I feel like the foil is not completely, there we go, yeah, I was right. Not completely covered. Okay. And again, I'm just going to repeat this process. We're going to come back when I get to the top, and then I'm going to show you how I do the sides. Okay guys, I'm back. I'm now going to remove the foils from underneath my hair. It looks like it's pretty even. There is, you know, I don't want it to break off, so I'm pulling on it. It's still pretty intact. And then let that sit for a little bit and process. I just don't want them to be in the foils too much longer, because I do have, oh, it looks like I need to go over a few pieces, but the toner might fix that. We'll see. I don't want them to get too hot since I still have the top to do. So I'm just gonna pull out the backs. And probably underneath. Let's see where that's at. Yeah, they're pretty ready, it looks like. And they're pretty easy to slide off for the most part. See, and then I might have to go in and do a little touch up on a few pieces, but I think the toner might help that. I just don't want to, I'm going to rinse it out and do that because I don't want to overly bleach. Yeah, see, there's a little spotty in there, but for the most part, it's pretty good for, again, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing really. But so far, my first experience with this bleach, it's pretty freaking good. So while we're doing this, I'm going to mix a little bit more bleach on. Okay, yeah. A little bit more bleach. Let me check this top part and see where we're at. Almost. So I'm going to mix a little bit more bleach and then kind of just go over a few pieces and let that sit for like 10 more minutes without the foils on. So I'm going to do like half a scoop. Alright, we'll just do a full scoop, just so I have extra lathered on. And on this part, I'm going to do a 20 volume. Just so it drops it back down, and we'll mix it back in. Again, I really hope Brad Mando is not cringing right now. And the only reason I'm using 20 is because I don't want to put 30 back on it, and when it's only going to sit for a little bit longer, so I don't know if that was a good idea or not, but we'll find out. So we're just going to go back over the pieces that I feel like need a little extra help. You know, like, it's so hard to bend. I might try it that way. So like the pieces like this, where it just needs a little bit more because it's a little yellow. The underneath parts, I probably should have. Just so that way it's not, you know, complete. But it also isn't so spotty. Like this piece right here. Oops. Pull it back the other way. Definitely needs a little more bleach. And that's okay. I just don't want to let it sit for too long. Okay. Okay. There. Let that continue to sit in the foils, and then I'm going to go over, there's like a spot right here. And I'm sure it'll blend back out once I do the toner and take it all off. But for now, I just want to make sure it's a little more even than it is currently. And then we'll check back in a second. I might put a bag over my head for a few minutes just to keep the heat in. Okay. We're going to use a Marshall's bag. So I'm just going to, clip this all together in the back, just to hold it up. He also sprays water in here. I don't need to spray water, so I'm just gonna flick them in, and then put my whole head in it. And the point of the water is so that way it creates moisture in there. I'm gonna leave this piece out. It's really obnoxious, but anyway. you get the point. And this goes for 10 minutes. Just sit. Oh, this piece of the bag's open, but whatever. You get the point. I'm gonna do that for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back and pull the rest of the clothes out. Okay guys, so we're back. I shampooed and conditioned. It was a bitch to take all the tangles out. It took me forever, and I still don't feel like it's perfect, but they're pretty out. The integrity of my hair is pretty good still. Like, you know, the elasticity is pretty good. So that's good. It is a little yellow. I wouldn't say it's really orange. It's more of like a yellow, a darker yellow. But I think it's gonna blend pretty well. Here's the back, and then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna apply the toner. So here's the back of it, and I feel like, again, it's pretty blended. So the way I'm applying the toner is I do this very oddly. I'm gonna start with the root part first, and then I bring it through. So every time I do it, I'll like slice it weird, like you'll see what I mean. So I start underneath again, and I just like separate the sections. So clip the top, and I'm just gonna do, so here's like where it was dark. It's pretty good, I'd say. Like, you know, there's still, it's not horrible. I'm just gonna do the root gloss, oops, the gloss on it. And this is a lot more liquidy than, you know, it is when I do normal toner, but I read that. So I'm just gonna go under, you know, the root, apply it to the sides and the back, and then keep going. Same exact pattern. Here's where I've done a few tangles, but this is the way I usually do it. And then I apply the end part over the whole thing. But it's just kind of like to get the roots, and I barely brush it, but I just kind of count like how I do it, so I know how far I'm actually going. Yeah. And again, for like the integrity of my hair, I feel like it's pretty good, so I definitely will be picking that bleach over what I normally would get. So here I'll show you like how I do it on the side. So I'll start at the root, go down, bring it back up, and then this way. And then I just kind of do it all the way around. And again, because it's so liquidy, like at the end I end up mixing everything anyway. But this is just so it's a little more precise. And this was sleep for 10 to 15 minutes. It says 10 from what I read online, but the box actually says 15, so we're 10 to 15, so might go to that. And again, just like I flip the hair up and do this. And usually when I do it this way, it does cover it all. I did read that you could do it after while I was waiting and rinsing it before I rinsed it out. I said earlier you can do it on dry hair, or it says that, but I've read that you could do it on wet or dry, so I don't think it really matters, but we'll find out. It's my first time messing with this product. One thing I've learned too when I tone my hair is always make sure you get your baby hairs right here, because I've done that before where I didn't get them and it was like super obvious. Okay. And this is a lot faster too because these sections can be bigger. Just because it's so liquidy, it blends it. And I do see I have a few like, you know, sharper lines than I wanted, but hopefully this will blend it all out. I hope. But at least my hair is not fried off. That's always a plus. I feel like you can always mix with toners, and if it doesn't work right, like tone a darker shade to get the desired color, but you can't really glue your hair back on your head. And I did read the Shades EQ doesn't lighten the hair, it just deposits color. So it should work fine for what I'm going for. Okay, so now all that's on, and we're gonna mix with the lighter color. So I'm gonna switch to the lighter color and just kind of go over it all again. Again, I'm just painting it, depositing that color on. And this is how I normally do it. It's probably not right, but I put it as much on as this until I feel like it's covered enough, and then I just literally dump the rest on my head. But make sure it is saturated enough. Just kind of go like this. This is how I normally do it. And then, you know, blend. This is my first time like using a gloss, which is, I've heard Brad Mando talk about glosses before. I think he even did a video recently too on why you should gloss your hair. Is that the same thing as this? I'm not sure. Maybe. But hopefully I'm doing something right. Okay. Next side. I'm gonna focus more on making sure I do saturate the parts that I did bleach, at least so that gets covered first. Okay. Gonna kind of get more of the underneath. Section, and now I'm gonna go to the part where I dump it on my head. Be right back. Okay, so I'm back and I'm shaving what's left over. I'm kind of just pushing it, working it through the hair. hoping that I have enough to deposit the color. And I'm gonna rinse it off. Well, off my hands. I'm just gonna check real quick, see how the back looks. Fully saturated, okay. Let's hope for the best. Okay, so I'm back with the finished results. There is a little spotty in a section right here, but it just depends on the light that or the angle that I'm at. But overall, I'm very happy with it. Now, it's a lot darker toned than I would have wanted it to be, but I already knew that. It turned out actually to be the color that it looked like on, you know how it has like the little hair samples? It looked like that, but they didn't have the color that I actually wanted, so I knew it was going to be a little darker anyway, but the whole point was just to bring the blonde back up, like re-bleach my roots, or as close up to my roots as possible, so, and kind of tone it in. So now, if I've learned anything about my hair over the last few years of having it blonde, every time it tones, it'll last like a few weeks, and then it's always a lighter color. So once it hits that lighter color, I think it'll be easier because it's more blended to go back in and try to put a lighter color on top of it. So here's the side. Let me show you the back, and then I'll lift up my hair so you can see what it looks like if it was in a ponytail. So here's the back. I think it looks actually pretty good for, you know, again, not being a hairstylist or knowing what the fuck I'm doing. But it brought it back up from what I showed you earlier. And then here's if I like move my hair around my hairline. I think it turned out really good. Looks really nice on me, I think. And I'm actually really excited to see what it fades into. Here's underneath, so if it was in a ponytail, I think this part looks really good here. And my hair does not feel damaged, you know. I mean, it's damaged compared to what from when I started, but it doesn't feel like I put any additional damage on it. And then when I showered, there's only maybe like 3 strands of hair that came out, which for me is normal. I don't really lose a lot of hair. But yeah, I hope that with all this, I made Brad Mando proud. Hopefully. We'll find out.